How are you?
Nothing. Just here to answer a call. So you're not in trouble. You're not doing anything wrong.
Okay, thanks.
Just don't want you to be worried about me being here. That's all.
I can promise you I'm not worried at all.
Okay.
I'm not scared. I'm not nervous.
All right. Well,
I definitely haven't done anything wrong.
All right. Well.
So I don't know why you say that. That's weird.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel, where we don't just talk about rights. We show you how to exercise them in real time. What you're about to see is a perfect example of how easily authority gets confused with entitlement. In this encounter, an off-duty police officer working private security for a Texas bank approaches civilians who are lawfully recording from a public sidewalk. No crime, no threat, just a camera. From the very first words, the officer begins lying about the law, falsely claiming that public space is private property and that recording is prohibited. This is a classic move, misinformation wrapped in confidence. And it works on people who don't know better. But today, it doesn't. The civilians remain calm, respectful, and firm. They're refusing to surrender their rights simply to make an officer comfortable. This is where education meets confrontation, and the cracks in authority start to show.
A lot of people get nervous when I walk up to them. That's all it is.
Sure.
What's your name, buddy? What's your name?
Why do you need my name?
Because they are formally trespassing you from their property. You are not on their property currently.
Right.
What this is saying is that going forward, you are no longer ever allowed to be on their property. Okay?
Okay.
And all I'm doing is document.
I don't need to go on their property, so you don't have to do that.
I do have to do that.
Okay. So is your body cam on?
It is.
Okay. Are you demanding my ID?
Yes.
Have I committed a crime?
You are being formally...
Have I committed a crime? What crime have I committed for you to demand my ID? I think we're going to have a problem. You probably should get somebody out here. It's not the way the trespass law works. I have not been on their property, right? I'm not going to give you my name.
Listen carefully, because this is where the narrative starts to unravel. The officer repeatedly claims the sidewalk is private property, despite clear markings showing it belongs to the city of Houston. Instead of verifying facts, he doubles down, hoping confidence will replace legality. The civilians clearly explain they are not on bank property, have no ill intent, and are exercising a First Amendment protected activity. Still, the officer presses, demanding explanations he is not legally entitled to. This exchange exposes a major issue. Public officials often rely on civilians volunteering information they don't owe. When that doesn't happen, frustration sets in. The civilians don't raise their voices. They don't insult. They simply stand their ground. And that alone becomes the problem. When obedience is expected and not given, authority feels threatened. This moment proves that calm resistance backed by knowledge is more powerful than any badge or uniform.
I'm going to show you my ID. I'm in a public space, standing here. Can I get your name and badge number?
My name's Officer Burkhoff. Badge number 2390.
Okay.
I have no problem giving that to you.
I mean, is it not your policy? Is it not your policy to give at least one of those? Your department policy?
Department policy to get both of them, and
okay. Well, then,
it wouldn't matter to me either way.
I don't know why you would say that.
I don't understand why you're out here filming this business. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I said I don't understand, just like you don't understand the things that I'm saying. So, we're on the same page.
It's not about being on the same page. I mean, I'm in public, right? I haven't been...
All right, guys, now watch how the tone shifts from misunderstanding to accusation. The officer begins implying suspicious intent without articulating a single crime. He suggests that filming a bank is inherently dangerous, a claim with no legal basis. When challenged, he moves the goalposts, calling the activity reasonably suspicious, while failing to meet the legal standard of reasonable articulable suspicion. This is where the conversation turns revealing. Profiling slips into the discussion, assumptions replace facts, and professionalism erodes fast. The civilians call it out in real time, forcing the officer to confront his own words. Instead of correcting course, he escalates emotionally, using insults and provocation. This isn't policing, it's ego in uniform. And every second of this exchange proves why recording is essential. Without the camera, these moments would be denied, rewritten, or dismissed entirely.
On the property, right? Correct?
They can trespass you without you entering their property.
I don't know if that... I mean, but I haven't committed a crime, though. I mean, whether they say this or that, me, this guy right here in front of you, has not committed any crimes.
I already told you that, didn't I?
I know, but you're demanding my ID. That's where we have a problem.
Yes, because I have to be able to track who we have notified that they are not allowed on
You've notified me. How about good citizen?
No, because if they call on you, because they say...
Can I identify as good citizen?
No.
I can't?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
Okay. Well, I haven't committed any crimes, and I can identify as good citizen if I want to. So, I'm in public. That's 3. I mean, what do you got? You gonna violate my rights?
Now things get openly hostile. The officer admits he's not on duty, yet continues acting as though he has authority to issue orders. He refuses to call a supervisor, refuses to disengage, and resorts to name-calling while still wearing the uniform of the city of Houston. That matters, because uniforms represent public trust, not personal feelings. The civilians repeatedly ask one simple thing: to be left alone. Instead, they're accused of trying to provoke reactions, when the only reaction happening is from the officer himself. The irony is thick. Filming in public is legal. Standing on a sidewalk is legal. Refusing to explain yourself is legal. The only thing not happening here is a crime. This segment perfectly captures how authority can become abusive when accountability is resisted and cameras stay rolling.
Go ahead. I asked you to get somebody out here before you started asking all these questions. Before we got here, so... Trying to get... Maybe we should just get educated real quick. You can't demand someone's ID for standing in public, whatever a business owner says. Do you work for them or do you work for the public?
I work for everybody.
Okay, so whose side are you on? Whose side are you on then? Whose side are you on?
On the side of the public.
Okay, well the public hasn't committed any crimes, but you're demanding their ID. Is that not a violation of my rights?
No.
Whoa! Okay. Thank God I'm recording this.
I haven't forced you to do anything, so...
You're demanding my ID.
I haven't forced you to do anything.
But it's the verbiage. That's where you're not getting it. You're demanding it.
Alright guys, this is where the encounter fully collapses. The officer begins making reckless comparisons, personal attacks, and inflammatory statements that have nothing to do with public safety. The discussion spirals into insults, stereotypes, and emotional outbursts, all while the civilians remain focused on the law. They explain again that suspicion is not a crime and that filming from public space is constitutionally protected. Still, the officer refuses to disengage. He follows, talks, provokes, and contradicts himself repeatedly. This is no longer about the bank, it's about control. The camera exposes how quickly authority can turn petty when it's questioned. And it shows something even more important. The law doesn't disappear just because someone doesn't like how you're using your rights.
Am I free to go or am I being detained? Am I free to go?
Did you want to talk to my supervisor?
Am I free to go or am I being detained?
Did you want to talk to my supervisor?
Can I ask a question before that? May I ask you a question? It's transparency, man. Transparency. This is your chance, man. Here it is. This is your chance to represent Knox County. Right here.
I don't work for Knox County.
Whoever, the police department in general across America, they obviously hate you for this right here. You're not being transparent. I'm trying to ask you a question, and you're being evasive. I don't have to. I'm a public citizen in the public. That's what you don't get, or you don't care. That's what you don't get, or you don't care that I'm a public, private citizen.
You are free to go.
No.
You are free to go.
If I'm free to go, then I'm free to stay. Am I right? Right or wrong?
As this encounter finally winds down, the lesson couldn't be clearer. This is exactly why knowing your rights matters. This is why recording matters. And this is why public awareness is dangerous to unchecked authority. The civilians did nothing extraordinary. They simply refused to comply with unlawful demands. And that alone exposed dishonesty, aggression, and abuse of power. This documentary isn't anti-police, it's pro-accountability. Good officers respect rights. Bad officers fear cameras. If you don't know your rights, someone else will decide them for you. Share this footage. Talk about it. Learn from it. Because every time someone stands firm, calm, and informed, it makes it harder for misconduct to survive in the shadows. Remember this: rights only exist if you exercise them, and the camera is your strongest protection.
You can
Okay.
stand right there all you want.
Exactly. Go tell them that.
I already told them that.
That I could stand right here?
Yes.
Then why are you out here trying to trespass me?
Because they don't want you on their property.
I don't care
said,
what they want.
Let me finish talking. Jeez. You keep asking me questions and you don't let me finish the answers.
You're so rude. No wonder America hates you guys. Hello.
Wow.
Hanging out.
Okay. That's it?
That is it.
So you said that you asked for me, though.
Well, no, I think we've squashed that, right? You don't need my ID now, right?
I would still like to formally trespass.
Are you demanding it?
business, yes.
What crime have I committed? Is he?
So hold on.
He's demanding my ID, though.
The call that we got was from the business.
Okay.
And I don't know because I just got here. Were you on their property?
I don't
Or were
answer
you here?
questions.
Not today.
Do what?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. You're all free to leave.
Okay.